tomorrow is Easter. Which, for people watching this video are like, this Easter was a long time ago. Today was a very stressful day. A lot of people are going through some stuff and I'm trying to help out. Hopefully tomorrow will be a bit better. I don't mind helping out. I don't mind being the shoulder to cry on. Because it's a shame to say this, but we sadly do live in a world where that's not always going to be the case, you know. Even if you have connections overseas, like not always can you like have somebody to like just vent to. Some people say they be there for them, like, hey, you can always come to me, but then they don't make the effort. And I want to make a difference in those people's lives. I want to be the one that makes the effort. Even though sometimes it does get a little bit exhausting. And yeah, of course it's not healthy for my mental health all the time either, because who's going to listen to me? But the good thing is that I don't have to worry about that, because most of the people that I do this for, they give it back to me anyway. Like they're willing to listen to what I'm going through. But yeah, today has just been very, very hectic. So let's just hope tomorrow is a better day. Gramgrams is the next SCP that we have to read. I say have to. Like, it's not really have to. I'm doing this for fun. All right, here we go. Euclid. Special containment procedures. Newly discovered instances of SCP-1911 are to be immediately reported to the supervising director. If at all possible, recording equipment should be set up in the domicile currently occupied by SCP-1911, and the following supplies are to be made available to SCP-1911. Paper towels of any brand. Cleaning products including bleach, ammonia, glass cleaner, vacuum bags, laundry detergent, and dish soap. Supplies for knitting, quilting, sewing, or basket weaving. Adult diapers in the current target size. The target of SCP-1911 is to be kept alive and restrained by all possible means. If SCP-1911's target escapes, it is to be returned to the residence and restrained. Like, well, how fast can this SCP go? If SCP-1911's target expires, observers of SCP-1911 are to be returned to Site 54 for reassignment, and the occupied domicile is to be scrapped or repurposed. Description. SCP-1911 is an entity taking the form of 1 to approximately 30 elderly females, which are referred to in reports by numerical designation, all of whom identify as Grandma, Gramgram, Nanny, Grammars, etc. Nana. SCP-1911. SCP-1911. What's happening? SCP-1911 targets single human males living alone, then attempts to entice them into allowing them access to the domicile. Oh, a sugar mama, a sugar grandmama. If SCP-1911 is denied access, more and more instances of the... Wait. It's attempted... Oh, okay, no, okay, I get it, okay. They want access to the male's home, not the other way around. I thought they were like saying like, hey, you can live with me. No, they were saying, hey, can I live with you? Gotcha. If SCP-1911 is denied access, more and more instances of the entity begin to appear, attempting to access different points in the home, door, windows, garage. Oh, okay, garage, storm doors, chimneys, etc. Okay, that's kind of like, there's a difference between like a sweet granny and be like, hey, can I live with you? And you're like, no, I'm sorry, I kind of want to live by myself. And then like, next thing you know, there's like multiple of them trying to break into your house. And you're still like, what? Especially the window. Can you imagine that you just like, you leave a kitchen window open, you're like, oh, let me go to the bathroom real quick. And you come back and you see this old grandma just like like this, like that over you, over the window by the bathroom by the kitchen counter, like, oh, don't mind me, Sonny. I'm just making myself comfortable. Just coming in. You're like, what? Get out! You absolute freak! What? And then you look through another window. You see another grandma like, let me in, Sonny boy. Let me in. I'd be like, what's going on? What kind of cult of grandmas am I being surrounded by? If SCP-1911 is to continually denied access, it will attempt to force its way into the domicile. This rarely succeeds, as in spite of numbers, instances of SCP-1911 have no more physical strength than an elderly human female. Yeah, okay. That's good to know. So you can't overpower them. It's, well, unless, I mean, until there's like 50 of them and you're like... I'll pile on top of you and you're like, no! No! After failing to force its way into the home, SCP-1911 will dissipate. Usually a plate of cookies, cakes, or sweets will be left on the doorstep with a handwritten note expressing condolences at having not been able to spend time with my grandson. The dog is never mentioned by name. I don't know if you know this, lady, but we are not related. Also, when it becomes 30 of them, is it 30 of the same grandmas? Or is it like 30 different grandmas trying to break? Because that's another thing, right? That adds a layer of like being like a bit freaked out. Like, if it's like 30 of the same grandma, then you're like, this is bizarre. This should not be possible. Like, something supernatural is happening and it will break your mind. But 30 different grandmas would also be scary, because you like literally think, okay, my house has been mocked by some sort of cult. like I'm about to be kidnapped. Even though I can definitely defend myself against these grandmas, I'm about to get kidnapped. I'm in danger. Help. In that event that SCP-1911 gains admittance to the residence, one instance of SCP-1911 immediately begins to communicate with the target, asking about a variety of subjects. It is currently believed that SCP-1911 uses a form of cold reading to determine information about the subject, and begins to expand the conversation. They try to connect. Because we're connected. Usual topics include the target's parents, job, studies, or significant other. Other non-conversational instances of SCP-1911 proceed to clean the residence. In all cases, the personal effects of the occupant are arranged, categorized in some logical form, and cleaned. Careful inspection reveals a complete lack of fingerprints, hair follicles, dander, or any other evidence of human occupancy. SCP-1911 instances will cook for the target, knit or crochet articles of clothing for them, and if necessary, feed them. In all instances, SCP-1911 continues to occupy the residence until the target expires or leaves for an extended period of time, at which point instances of SCP-1911 expresses confusion as to why the target would leave or stop talking to them. Instances of SCP-1911 wander away and dissipate over a period of 1 to 7 hours after growing increasingly angry, bitter, and resentful at the lack of communication, leaving walkers, wheelchairs, canes, medical equipment, notably oxygen tanks and hearing aids, and purses. A full list of currently recovered items collectively stored at Site 54 is available upon request. How long, though, do you have to stay away? It just says like an extended period of time. Like, if you go away for like a week, is that enough, or do you have to be away for like a whole month? Because like you can just then take a vacation, right? Because it does not sound like this SCP has like an effect on people where you suddenly want to stay around them, right? It doesn't like influence you in a way that you just like, oh yeah, she is my grandma, of course. Previous infestations. I think that like a whole grandma coming to your house is an infestation. SCP-1911 first came to the Foundation attention in 1951. Since then, at least 14 infestations have been discovered, mostly after the infestation has dissipated. 4 successful containments have been established. Listed below are previously recorded contaminants which were successfully established. So we have locations, number manifested, and documentation. So Dunlop, Virginia, 5 grandmas. Target expressed confusion over the presence of SCP-1911, though he eventually admitted the instances. After informing the local police about possible dementia patients having wandered away from the caregivers, Foundation operators moved in and restrained the targets. Target attempted to escape 7 times, 2 of which were successful, and resulted in additional restraints being placed on the subject. Lobotomy was suggested and carried out with approval. Target died due to choking in 1959. Lobotomy was still a thing in the late 50s? Let me actually check. When was When was lobotomy banned? Came to the ban in the Soviet Union, but yeah, sure, but like okay, in the U.S. in 1967, females was banned from performing any further lobotomy. Damn. But the U.S. and much of the Western Europe never banned lobotomy, and the procedure was still performed in the places throughout the 1980s. That's way that's way too long. That's way too long to still be doing lobotomies. God damn. Oxford, Mississippi, one instance. SCP-1911 manifestation was reportedly extremely similar to the target's grandmother, who had recently passed away. Target admitted SCP-1911 immediately and willingly stayed and talked to the instance, leaving for a short period to buy more necessities. Target continued to contain SCP-1911 unknowingly until his death in an automobile accident in 1964. SCP-1911 was reportedly present at the target's funeral, though no one acknowledged any resemblance. Interesting. So, okay, it's interesting because the first documentation talked about like how like yeah, the person clearly was like not okay with this. They were like, hey, these are a bunch of dementia filled grandmothers just in my house. So let me see if I can call the caretakers. But the second one does seem to like be like, oh, she looks like my grandmother, even though everybody else is like, no, she does not. So it looks like there is. I guess it depends on the emotional state of a person. Because at the end, we don't know if this is like some sort of like manipulation through anomalous effect, or if this just happens to be a coping mechanism. So yeah. Presidio, Texas, 29. Target managed to maintain his distance through use of personal weaponry, killing 7 At some point, the target slipped off his roof, falling and breaking his leg, at which point he was overcome. SCP-1911 instances then relocated the target to the inside of the domicile and proceeded to care for him while he recovered. Can you imagine how weirded out you must be? You went on the roof to shoot at grandma. You will never get to me! And then you fall off, you hurt yourself, you break your leg, and then all of them are just like come towards you like, no! No, please! And then you just, next thing you know, you're in the couch and you're like, how's the soup, Sonny? And you're like, yeah, it's kind of nice. It's really nice soup. Thanks. It's like, oh, no problem. You want me to get you some fresh ice for your leg? It's like, that would be nice, yeah. Like the whiplash of like, what is happening? Foundation personnel managed to locate the target shortly after food supplies ran out, and after restraining him, SCP-1911 containment was considered active. Subject expired in 1989 from sepsis due to bed sores, which SCP-1911 failed to detect. I see. Current containment location. The current target of SCP-1911 is John Cheever, born 1973, currently residing in Romney, West Virginia. Mr. Cheever's family is under the impression that the house was sold in 1992 and that Mr. Cheever severed all ties with them. Currently, the continued exposure to SCP-1911 has produced a Stockholm Syndrome effect, and Mr. Cheever believes that all instances of SCP-1911 are, in fact, his grandmother's. Again, this one is like definitely more like, yeah, okay, there must be some anomalous effect that these grandmas have, because there's no way that you like look at multiple versions of your grandma and be like, yeah, all of them are my grandma. There's absolutely no way. Current research is continuing on reproducing this effect as means to lower escape rates at future instances. Addendum T. Recent audio reports from the current containment location of SCP-1911 were recently analyzed in a study by Dr. who reported that SCP-1911 often talked about the current target's cousins. Research revealed that none of these cousins existed. However, when compared to information from previous contaminants, several analogous instances were noted. The following is the originally discovered excerpt. 12 Jan 1999, 1443. So, okay, so we have -1. Did I tell you about my cousin Maury? No, Grams. How is he? Well, let me tell you. You know he broke his leg? Did he, Grams? He did. You know that Grandma was there to take care of him, of course. He was so angry and upset. Oh heavens, he was so upset. Well, you know how he is. Oh, I most certainly do. He was fighting and yelling and screaming, fit to be tied. Why did he do that, Grams? Oh, you know him. Just ornery and hateful. Always has been. Can't help but lash out at people. I'm sorry, Grams. What happened? Well, he got sick and died, honey. Not then, but later. I was so sad to see him go. So this is definitely the guy that fell off the rooftop and died from the bed sores. Currently, this information is being used to search for undiscovered infestation of SCP-1911. Any notable similarities between these and real-life events should be immediately reported to the supervising director. And then we have another red text saying possibly previously unknown infestations, which is 4 of them. 17th September 1997, 1918 o'clock. Did you know that your cousin Tony is in college now? He's going to be a doctor. Well, Grandma couldn't be prouder of him. He works so hard. I wish he'd call. You know how I went to see him again, and he wouldn't even answer the door. Yeah, because you know his grandma. 29th October 2001, 1:12. Oh, you know how Hayden was, always looking for a quick buck. Well, Grandma helped him out, and he never even said thank you. Well, he came back, and Grandma asked him what he's been doing, and do you know what he was doing? He'd been out drinking. Well, Grandma wasn't going to have any of that, so she just went ahead and gave him some of her medicine to calm him down. Do you know he made such a mess of his bed? He used the bathroom in it, and... oh, Grandma couldn't even get him to wake up. I guess he was just too drunk still. I finally had enough and just left, but goodness, what a rude boy. I blame poor parenting. Don't like how this SCP like just refers to themselves as Grandma all the time. I know that sometimes sometimes grandmas do that, like, well, you know how Grandma is. Like as a joke or as like one-time thing. They would talk about themselves in third person, or at least who they are in the family as a third person. But not every single time in a sentence. Not even a single time like, I did this. No. It's like, Grandma. 7th July 2002, 9:36. Oh, I felt so foolish when I went to visit Roddy. You remember Roddy? When I went to visit Roddy, I went to make him some... so here you go. I went to make him some tea. And then he started screaming and crying so loudly all of a sudden. Well, Grandma went up to check on him, and he was so upset and angry. Well, Grandma forgot about the kettle, and... oh, one thing led to another. And one just went ahead and made me leave. And won't you know it, his house caught fire. Oh, Grandma felt so awful about that. So, unless Grandma in this case are supposed to like reference the other versions of SCP, that would actually make more sense. Like instead of like, because they say, "Oh, I made them tea," but then she says Grandma went up, so I feel like there's two of them in the house. 17th of August, again, still it is scary to wake up and suddenly there's two strangers in your house. 17th of August 2005, 22:58. I should probably say those like military times always like 24-hour clock always like at 22:58, which makes it a bit more understandable, because 22:58 could also be a year if people don't know how to read military clock. Or 24-hour clock, whatever. Okay. Well, when I went to visit your cousin Ned, he was so rude. He was shoving and yelling at Grandma so loud. And well, I wouldn't ever think of doing anything. But you know Grandma Sophia. Well, she couldn't take the way he was treating me anymore. Okay, so it is multiple of them okay. And she picked up a lamp and just thwapped him right beside the head. Oh gosh, I was so surprised. We come to the couch, but he was plump out of it by then. You knocked him out. You killed the man. Gramgrams, you killed the man. I say, Grandma, you just straight up murdered the man. You're a criminal. At least, well, your other version of you is a criminal. This is confusing. Because they gave each other different names, but they're all the same being, technically. Yeah, no, I think I said more than enough about this SCP. Like, it's just freaky to imagine that this old lady just shows up at your house and wants to get in, and you're like, no, no, you cannot. What? Hello? Is it? Whose grandma is this? Whose lost grandma is this? And next thing you know, like, throughout the multiple days, more grandmas show up and try to break into your house. I'd be like, no, get out. I'm surprised. Not, like, I wonder what happens when you call the police. Like, do they see this? Do they see like 30 grandmas trying to enter a home? Well, at the end, like, if the police got called, like, as we saw, the SCP Foundation would probably intercept and be like, no, this is a job for us, don't worry about it. But still, a bit freaky deaky.